before starting broadband communication system, the very important point are what are the actual basic blocks for communication. So everyone knows that there are three basic components. If you want to perform a communication system, or you want to design a communication system, or you want to work with communication system, the first and very important block is a source or transmitter. Source and transmitter, why both are different? Because transmitter is having a encoding components, okay, and everything which is required to convert a electrical signal into or analog signal into digital if we are performing the digital transmission, and source which is going to transmit a signal in a particular electrical components. Because if we are actually getting the transmission line, then what we are transmitting 0 and 1. So 0 and 1 means the 1 is having one voltage level and 0 is having one voltage level. So actually we are transmitting two voltages simultaneously on one communication system, and according to that the receiver is going to first receive and then decode what is the meaning of that 1001 or what is the meaning of the digital signal. Second is very important, destinations and receivers ke up what are your receiver and how you are going to find signals at a destination. So these are the general statement, okay. And very important is what medium you are using between a transmitter and receiver or source and destination. It is a communication channel. Now if we want to categorize communication channel or we want to find the types of communication channel, then first and very important is a wired, then second is wireless, third is a glass, that means fiber, and fourth is a water and other materials. These are the communication channels. Means if you want to transmit voice in glass, in wired, in wireless, water, materials, whatever, everyone is going to transmit your signal at particular distance with different attenuation. Maybe wired signal is having less attenuation, wireless signal is having the highest attenuation because of a fading, multipath fading or obstacles are there. Glass is having some near about that attenuation, water and other materials. Now if we want to talk about architecture, this is very important because when we want to design a communication system, transmitter, receiver, communication channel, those are important. Then when we want to transmit a signal, then communication channel, that is wired, wireless, glass, water or materials, this is very important. And when you establish your communication system, then the next and very important point is what is a coverage or what topology you are going to use to transmit a signal. So for coverage, of course, for public network, first type is a LAN, second is a MAN, and third is a WAN. Everyone knows that what is a long form of a LAN, MAN, WAN. Now in a topology means actually what architecture, physical architecture we are using. That means one node to another node, how we are going to connect directly using bus topology, ring topology, mesh topology, star topology. By these different topologies are there. Now next, what are the main things those are going to change your services or your actually requirement of networking or requirement of architecture? The first thing if you want to characterize is a network characteristics. Now how many points are there in network characteristics? Is the first thing that you already mentioned, that a full redundancy, okay, then fast restoration, high availability, low latency, high bandwidth, dynamic allocation and high bandwidth efficiency, support various services. So redundancy or restoration, redundancy means what कि retransmission कम होना चाहिए, मतलब without error I want to transmit my signal, okay. Restoration, fast restoration, if any node is a fail or if any component is fail, then there are alternate paths should be available within a faction, or there is a routing algorithm should be very strong. Restoration routing algorithms are very strong. That's why your service is not interrupted. Then availability means if we want to कॉल एनी पर्सन, तो विदाउट एनी मतलब आपको कोई भी वहां पे मैसेज नहीं चाहिए, आपको रिंगिंग जो रिंग हो रहा है उसके बीच में टाइम शुड बी वेरी लो, वहां पे एंगेज नहीं होना चाहिए, नेटवर्क शुड नॉट एंगेज. ओके, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट यूजर अगर फोन पे रहेगा then there no availability, but networking में availability चाहिए. Low latency, that means error should be low. Bandwidth high. Dynamic allocation and high bandwidth efficiency means if one bandwidth is a free, so आपकी efficiency according to that allocate होना चाहिए. If one सर्विस प्रोवाइडर कैन अलोकेट 100 यूजर और 1000 यूजर्स, तो वहां पे उनका जो हैंडओवर है, स्विचिंग है, इट शुड बी वेरी स्मूथ. ओके, and it should support various service, data, voice, video, audio, every service should it supported. Okay, then second, what is the next issue? That there are more providers and equipment builders. This is very important. Now if you remember that if now you want to purchase a mobile, they are not giving you charger. If you want to purchase a mobile before 15 years, then for each and every company, if Nokia is there, Motorola is there, another one company is there, they are design their own charging port. So one charger we can't use for another company mobile. So to reduce that, because what is happening because of this thing, we are increasing the wastage. Wiring जो charger है वो wastage हम लोग बढ़ा रहे थे. So the one decision is taken by telecom industry that for each and every mobile, same charging port is there. So I can use one charger to any phone from a different make. But what about the equipment builders? If every company, they are not having any standard RJ45. If I purchase RJ45 for any company, the measurement is the same. That regulation, it done by telecom industry. But some are not using that regulation. This is the main problem. Then third, we want higher capacity services and we don't want to give price, or we want in a cheap rate. So the very important point is a positive feedback business model, need for high capacity network and more users. These are the main changing requirement, because if you count before 5 years, in a one area 100 people are using mobile phone. Now in a one home only, if 10 people are there, then they are having 10 mobile. This is a highest peak point that everyone is using a mobile phone, or everyone want that bandwidth. Means if you are using Wi-Fi connection in your home, 4 to 5 people same time using that Wi-Fi. Maybe one is listening music, one is watching video, one is doing some work from home, or one is listening video lectures. So the service is same, that 100 Mbps or 48 or 56 or whatever gigahertz आपका जो भी line आ रहा है internet का. But now the uses are more. We want highest capacity network, because now today also we want video call. So video call wants maximum bandwidth. Now what are the service types? So for service types, there are two basic service types, that connection oriented and connectionless. What is the first connection oriented? That means it is a switching network, circuit switching. So it requires these three steps: setup time, connected and tear down, means आपको वो कनेक्शन बंद करना है. ओके, सो एग्जाम्पल, बेस्ट एग्जाम्पल इज अ public switching telephone network. This is very important, that public switching telephone network is using connection oriented service. Right? Mainly it is supported voice, okay, and it is not good for a bursty traffic. That means I want to call, if I want to call Omkar, then first setup होगा, मैं वो नंबर डायल करूंगी. ओके, देन ओमकार का मोबाइल में रिंग होगा, देयर वन कनेक्शन इज एस्टैब्लिश, व्हेन कन्वर्सेशन इज एंड, मैं और ओमकार दोनों अपना फोन बंद कर देंगे. सो दिस इज सर्किट स्विचिंग का एक एग्जाम्पल हो गया. नाउ कनेक्शनलेस. इन कनेक्शनलेस व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन अ कनेक्शन ओरिएंटेड? आई नो दैट कि वहां पे ओमकार अवेलेबल है, देन आई स्टार्ट टू सेंडिंग माय वॉइस डेटा. ओके, but in a connectionless, when I am sending a data, I don't know that receiver is receiving or not. Simple example is an email. मैं जब ईमेल लिख रही हूँ, मुझे नहीं पता वो आपको उसी इंस्टेंट पे मिलने वाला है. ओके, सो एग्जाम्पल इज अ पैकेट मैसेज बस switching. Internet is the best example of a connectionless. It improves bandwidth and network utilization. When we don't want urgent acknowledgement that whatever I'm sending, receiver उसको receive कर रहा है, then and then only I am going for a connectionless services. Again I repeat, when I don't want acknowledge, जैसे कि मैंने फोन किया किसी को भी, मैंने हेलो बोला, वहां से जब तक मुझे हेलो सुनाई नहीं देगा, मैं आगे का वॉइस ट्रांसमिशन या आगे का मैसेज नहीं देने वाली हूँ. ओके, बट इन अ कनेक्शनलेस आई एम गोइंग टू जस्ट टाइप अ मैसेज दैट ओके, बी स्टूडेंट्स आर गोइंग टू परफॉर्म दिस टास्क. आई वांट दैट एक्नॉलेजमेंट आफ्टर 2 days, 3 days, 1 month, और मे बी आई डोंट नीड कि सारे बच्चे उसको एक्नॉलेज करें. Then and then only I am going for a connectionless. Now, burst switching is another one very important application. That means at a time I am receiving 100, 1000 packets. Okay, this is very important for video and internet. सो इंटरनेट में क्या होगा, वहां पे बफरिंग होगा, बफर होके वो वीडियो प्ले होगा. सो देयर इज अ डिले. सो देखने वाले को ऐसा लगता है ओके दिस इज अ रियल टाइम, मींस विदाउट एनी डिले आई एम सीइंग अ वीडियो, बट एक्चुअली बैक एंड साइड में देयर इज अ बफर. वो बफर क्या कर रहा है, सारे पैकेट्स को स्टोर कर रहा है. बिकॉज ऑफ दैट द नेटवर्क यूटिलाइजेशन इज लेस. नाउ इन अ वीडियो इफ वन फ्रेम इज अ ब्लर, दैट मीन्स फॉर 1 फ्रेम और 5 सेकेंड्स अगर आपको पिक्चर अच्छे से नहीं दिखा, आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा, बिकॉज देर इज अ नो लॉस ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन. बट इन अ टेलीफोन नेटवर्क अगर मुझे 30 सेकेंड के लिए या 5 सेकेंड के लिए सामने वाले का आवाज बिल्कुल भी नहीं आया, देन देर इज अ लॉस ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन. सो when you are choosing connection oriented and connectionless, it is very important that what is your application and what is your feedback, what feedback you want from a destination. You want instant feedback or you want a feedback after some time. You want conjunction in a network, you don't want conjunction in a network. According to that characteristics we are going to select connection oriented and connection less network.
For more information of this topic, don't forget to subscribe my channel Pinnacle.